Hey guys, QuinntonTV here and welcome to a brand new video where today we are back with episode 2 of Doki Doki Literature Club. Now, I don't exactly remember what happened in the last video, mainly because I recorded it about 3 days ago at this point, and since then I managed to fuck up the save file for the game, and yeah, I had to basically redo it and do the exact same decision. So we're going to have to go from a certain point. I couldn't remember exactly where we got up to, so we're just going from here. Hi again, Quinton. Glad to see you didn't run away on us. Ha ha ha. Nah, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but at least I keep to my word. I actually do need to set a timer for this. Well, I'm back at the Literature Club. I was the last to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. Thanks for keeping your promise, Quinton. Yeah, I'm not going to say the D part again, because that just makes me laugh. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you, making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it. Oh, come on, like he deserves any slack. Sayori told me that you didn't even want to join any clubs this year, and last year too. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what, but if you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it. Natsuki, you certainly have a big mouth for someone who keeps her manga collection in her room. Fucking exposed right there. Natsuki finds herself stuck between Monica and manga. Manga is literature! Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plots back into her seat. Don't worry, guys. Quinton D will always give it his best as long as he's having fun. He helps me with busy work without me even asking, like cooking and cleaning my room. How dependable. Sayori, that's because your room is so messy it's distracting, and you almost set your house on fire once. Is that so? You two are really good friends, aren't you? I might be a little jealous. How come you and Quinton D can become good friends too? Sayori? As usual, Sayori seems oblivious to the weird situation she just put me into. Oh, Yuri even brought you something today, you know. Wait, Sayori. Huh? Me? Not really. Don't be shy. It's really nothing. What is it? Never mind. Sayori made it sound like a big deal when it's really not. What do I do? I'm sorry, Yuri, I wasn't thinking. I guess that means it's up to me to rescue this situation. Hey, don't worry about it. First of all, I wasn't expecting anything in the first place, so any nice gesture from you is a pleasant surprise. It'll make me happy no matter what. Is that so? Well, yeah, I won't make a big deal out of it if you don't want it. Alright. Well, here. Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book. I don't want you to feel left out, so I picked a book that I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention, even if you don't usually read. And we could, you know, discuss it if you wanted. This is... How is this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked out a book she think I like, despite me not reading much. Yuri, thank you. I'll definitely read this. I enthusiastically take the book. Phew. Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. Now that everyone's settled in, I expected Monica to kick off some scheduled activities for the club. Now that doesn't seem to be the case. So Yuri and Monica are having a cheery conversation in the corner. Yuri's face is always buried in a book, but I can't help but notice her intense expression like she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is running around in the closet. Ugh. I hear Natsuki utter an exasperated sigh from within the closet. She seems to be annoyed by something. I approach her in case she needs a hand. You looking for something in there? Freaking Monica, she never puts my stuff back in the right spot. That's the point in keeping your collection organised if someone else is going to mess it up. Natsuki slides a bunch of stacked books and boxes across the shelf. Manga. You read manga, right? Sometimes. Manga is one of those things where you can't admit you're really into it until you figure out where the other person stands. How did you know anyway? I heard you bring it up at some point. Besides, it's kind of written on your face. What's that supposed to mean? I see. There's a low volume of manga amidst a stack of various books on the side of the shelves. Curious, I pull it out of the stack. There it is. Natsuki snatches it out of my hand, and then turns into a box of manga and slips the volume right into the middle of the rest. Ah, much better. Seeing a box set with one book missing is probably the most irritating sight in the world. I know that feel. I get a closer look at the box she's been admiring. Parfait Girls? It's a series I've never heard of in my life. That probably means it's either way out of my demographic or it's simply terrible. If you're gonna judge, you can do it through the glass on that door. She points to the classroom door. Hey, I wasn't judging anything. Didn't even say anything. It was the tone of your voice. But I'll tell you one thing, Quinton. Consider this a lesson, straight from the literature club. Don't judge a book by its cover. In fact, Natsuki pulls out the first volume of Parfait Girls from the box. I'm going to show you exactly why. She shoves the book right into my hands. I stare at the cover. It features 4 girls in a colourful attire, striking animated feminine poses. It's exceedingly moe. Don't just stand there. What? Natsuki grabs my arm and pulls me out of the closet. She then takes a seat against the wall, beneath the windowsill. She pats the ground next to her, signalling me to sit next to her. Wouldn't chairs be more comfortable? I take my seat. Chairs wouldn't work. We can't read at the same time like that. Why is that? I guess it's easier to be closer like this. Don't just say that! You'll make me feel weird about it. Natsuki crosses her arm and scooches an inch away from me. Sorry. I didn't expect to be sitting this close to her either. Not that I can say it's a particularly bad thing. I open the book. It's only a few seconds before Natsuki once again inches closer, reclaiming the additional space where she hopes I won't notice. I can feel her peering over my shoulder, much more eager to begin reading than I am. Wow, how long has it been since I read the beginning? You don't go back and flip through the older volumes every now and then? Not really. Maybe sometimes after I've finished reading the series. Hey, are you paying attention? I am, but nothing's really happened yet, so I can't really talk at the same time. It looks like it's a bunch of friends in high school, typically a slice of life affair. I kind of grew out of these since it's rare for the writing to be entertaining enough to make up for the lack of plot. So, what should I expect from this? Is there going to be a plot? Well, obviously. You think I would enjoy something that didn't have a plot? I mean, well, I guess I know what you're saying. A lot of the beginning is about simple things. Like, there's a really funny chapter where they're obsessed with a guy at the ice cream shop. But that just helps you get to know the characters, and besides, it's still entertaining. But later on, there's still all kinds of drama. Like when they get into their backstories and when some of the romance starts to happen. That's really what makes it so good. There are so many touching parts. Is that so? It sounds like you really know what you're talking about. Maybe I underestimated you. Hey, wait. What's that supposed to mean? What? Natsuki gives me a little shove. It's just meant that I haven't seen you at your full power. Good save. And this chapter seems to be about baking. It's just a guess, but is there a lot of baking in this manga? Well, Natsuki pauses for a moment as she doesn't want to admit something. Yeah. Why does that matter? It doesn't, I was just curious. Since you enjoyed baking too, right? That's just a coincidence. I just happened to get into baking around the same time I got into this manga. Like I would never get into something because it's in a manga. I feel bad for everyone that's impressionable. Ahaha. Definitely not a coincidence. I guess that explains Natsuki's interest in baking. Well, all of a sudden, all of the hobbies to pick up from a manga, that's definitely one of the better ones. Not to mention she's really good at it, so who am I to judge? Oh no, this isn't getting very PG. We read on for a few more minutes. I finished a couple chapters at this point. Are you sure this isn't boring for you? It's not, even though you're just watching me read. Well, I'm fine with that, if you say so. I guess it's fun sharing something you like with someone else. I always get excited when I convince any of my friends to pick up a series I enjoy. You know what I mean. You don't? That's not... Well, I wouldn't really know. What do you mean? Don't you share your manga with your friends? Could you not rub it in? Jeez. Sorry. Like I could ever get my friends to read this. They just think manga is for kids. Oh yes, just read Tokyo Ghoul or Attack on Titan and you know manga is not for kids. Jesus. I can't even bring it up with them without them being all like, you still haven't grown out of that yet. Makes me want to punch them in the face. I know, those kinds of people. Honestly, it takes a lot of effort to find friends who don't judge, much less friends who are also into it. I'm already kind of a loser, so I guess I gravitated toward the other losers over time. But it's probably harder for someone like you. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Wait, which part? I mean, I feel like I can't even keep it in my own room. I don't even know what my dad would do if he found this. At least it's safe here in the club room. Except Monica was kind of a jerk about it. Ugh, I just can't win, can I? Well, it paid off in the end, didn't it? I mean, here I am, reading it. Well, it's not like that solves any of my problems. Maybe. But at least you're enjoying yourself, right? So, ahaha. Jeez, that's enough. Are you gonna keep reading or what? Yeah. I flip the page. Suddenly, Natsuki starts laughing. I totally forgot what happens. Natsuki puts her finger on one of the panels. Minori is my favourite character. You always feel a little bit bad for her since she's so unlucky, but it gets especially bad when... Ooh, I shouldn't be talking about that yet. Just finish the chapter. Natsuki's voice sparkles with excitement. It's a stark contrast to her usual bossy tone. If she's not used to sharing her favourite manga with her friends, I can understand. It's hard to express in words the feeling you get when connecting with someone like that. To being able to provide to Natsuki, for whom it's a rare experience. The thought makes me smile a little to myself. Okay, everyone. Are you all ready with today's poems? Oh, come on. Could your timing be any worse? Sorry. I just need to make sure we have enough time. Though you look pretty cozy over there. Natsuki suddenly noticed how close she's gotten to me. She hastily slides herself a good 12 inches away from me. Alright, I guess I'll stop here for now. Close the book and hand it towards Natsuki. You're just giving it back? Don't you want to know what happened? Yeah, but Monica just said, don't be dumb. Just take it home with you. Eh? Is that really alright? I say that mostly because I didn't plan on using my spare time to read this. Well, of course. It would take forever to finish it if you didn't take it home. Just finish that one before tomorrow so we can start the next one. And if it gets bent, I'll kill you. Jesus Christ. By tomorrow? I only got partway through the volume so far. I might fall behind on some shows if I try to get through this. Yeah, mate, it doesn't take that long to read one volume of manga. It takes about 40 minutes. But I suppose that's a necessary sacrifice in exchange for seeing Natsuki's enthusiastic face. Am I scared of what will happen if I don't finish it? Alright then, I stand up. I return to where I put my stuff and carefully slip the book into my bag. By the way, did you remember to write a poem last night? Yeah. My relaxation ends. I can't believe I agreed to do something so embarrassing. I couldn't really find much inspiration since I've never really done this before. Well, now that everyone's ready, why don't you find someone to share with? I can't wait! Sayori and Monica enthusiastically pull out the poems. Sayori's is on a wrinkled sheet of loose leaf torn from a spiral notebook. On the other hand, Monica wrote hers in a composition notebook. I can already see Monica's pristine handwriting from where I sit. Natsuki and Yuri reluctantly compel as well, reaching into their bags. I do the same myself. Who would you like to share my poem with first? Let's show Yuri, actually. Yuri seems the most experienced, so I should start with her. I can trust her opinion, to be fair. Yuri stares at the poem. A minute passes before more than enough time for her to finish reading. Sorry, I forgot to start speaking. Oh, it's fine, don't force yourself. I'm not. It's just needed to put my thoughts into words. Hold on. Okay. So this is your first time writing a poem, is it? Yes. Why do you ask? I'm just making sure. I guess that it might be after reading through it. Oh, so it's that bad. No! Did I raise my voice? I'm so sorry. Yuri buries her face in her hands. I couldn't help but notice that it's been several minutes, and we really haven't gotten anywhere. It might take Yuri a while to get used to new people. It's fine, I really didn't notice. What were you saying? Right, it's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers, and having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most noticeable thing I recognise in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separately from the topic matter, and they form fit the two together. The end result is both the style and expressiveness are weakened. Once Yuri finds her train of thought, it's as if her demeanour totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone, and she sounds like an expert. Of course, that's not something you can be blamed for. There are so many different skills and techniques that go into writing in even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice and learning by example and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a little bit biased though. Biased? How? Well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about other people like that. Sorry, it's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri is apologising to herself, to me, or to Natsuki. Do you mind if I read your poem now? Please do. I'd love to share my thought process behind it. Yuri smiles dreamily if that's a rare opportunity for her, which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club? Ghost under the light. The tendrils of hair illuminate beneath the amber glow. Bathing. It must be this one. The last remaining streetlight to have withstood the test of time. The last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue-green hue of the future. I bathe. Calms breathing air out the present but living in the past. The light thickens. I flicker back. Oh. Right, I can hardly fucking read that. I'm sorry, I have such terrible handwriting. What? It wasn't thinking that at all, but it took you such a long time to read it. Ah, well, I just don't read script very often. I actually think your handwriting's pretty. Eh? That's a relief. Also, I like the poem. Even though it's short, it was really descriptive. It wasn't too short. I usually write longer poems. Not at all. I'm really glad you liked it. I'll be honest. Since it's our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easier to digest, I suppose. Are you into ghosts, Yuri? Uh-huh. Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all, Quinton. Really? I must have totally missed the point. Well, I suppose you did only glance over it after all. But remember that poets often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their work. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem has only been symbolically compared to a ghost, lingering her last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past, and soon to be left with nothing. That's a lot more solemn, putting it that way. I hadn't even thought of that. That's impressive. It's nothing really. Well, it makes me happy that you think that. Just remember that it won't be long before you pick on these things too. Yeah, maybe you're right. I guess I'll have to keep trying. I'm counting on you. Right, who do we go for now? I say we go for Sayori. So, this is a good poem, Quinton. Are you sure it's your first time? Of course. It's not that good. I'm the kind of guy who will be writing poems. Am I the kind of guy who will be writing poems in his spare time? I guess you're right. But that's why it impressed me. Well, to be honest, I was afraid that you wouldn't do it seriously. Or that you wouldn't write one at all. I'm really happy you just wrote one. It just reminds me of how you're really becoming a part of the club now. Not to mention the fact that I'm standing right here in front of you in the club room. Well, of course. I'm not really into it yet, but that doesn't mean I'll break my promise. See? It's like I said before, Quinton. Deep down, you're not selfish at all, you know? Trying new things like this for other people, that's something that really good people do. Thanks, Sayori. I'm not really sure if Sayori sees the full picture of my motive here. Then again, I can't really deny that she's part of the reason I joined. Knowing how much this means to her and all, I just got a notification on my phone and I wondered what the fuck it was. Yeah, and I'm gonna make sure you have lots of fun here too. This will be my way of thanking you. Alright, I'm going to hold you to that then. Yay! Now you'll read my poem too, right? Don't worry, I'm really bad at this. Well, we'll see about that. Dear sunshine, the way you glow through my blinds in the morning, it makes me feel like you missed me. Kissing my forehead to help me out of bed, making me rub the sleepy from my eyes. Are you asking me to come out and play? Are you trusting me to wish away a rainy day? I look above, the sky is blue. It's a secret, but I trust you too. If it wasn't for you, I could sleep forever, but I'm not mad. I want breakfast. Jesus. But, yeah, what you can see here, a bit of English analysis here, the sky is blue and trust you too, is like they rhyme, but they actually don't. They sound very similar, but they're not a direct rhyme, they just sound very similar. But at least we know she wants breakfast. Sayori. This is just a guess, but did you just wait until this morning to write this? No? Just a little bit. You can't answer just a little bit to yes or no question. I forgot to do it last night. Well, at least that makes me feel a little bit better about myself. Don't be mean. I've still tried my best. Ah, yeah. Didn't mean to say that it was a bad poem. Sounds just like you. Really? Yeah, especially that last line. I made eggs and toast. Aw, that's cute. Even though you were late to school, it's so bad to skip breakfast. I get all cranky. Well, I guess there's no point in arguing. Anyway, thanks for showing me. This was so much fun. Monica's the best. Ah, yeah, but next time I won't forget. And I'm gonna write the best poem ever. Well, I guess I look forward to it. Right, who do we show it to now? Do we go Monica or Natsuki? Let's go Monica. Hi, Quinton. Having a good time so far? Yeah. Good to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we can do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course, I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better at just going with the flow until I'm more settled in. Anyway, want to share your poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Don't worry, Quinton. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know. But that's the kind of barrier we'll all learn to get past soon. Yeah, that's true. I hand Monica my poem. I like it, Quinton. Really? It's a lot cuter than I expected. Oh, jeez. No. This kind of makes me think of something Natsuki would write. She's a good writer too. So take that as a compliment. If you say so. Yep. By any chance have you read anything by Shel Silverstein? Eh? Maybe a long time ago. He's famous for telling all kinds of stories in just a few simple words. His poems can be really funny, endearing, or even sad. And sometimes they're only a few lines long. They might even feel like they're written for kids, but if you think about them, they can express views of the world that would apply to anyone. I see. So you're saying that Natsuki is kind of like that? Sort of. Maybe she's not an expert, but you probably wouldn't find much filler in her poems. And then they might be easy to write, but they're super challenging to get the meaning though, so I can see why it would be your kind of poem to explore. I'm sure I'll end up trying different things a lot. It could take a while before I feel comfortable doing this. That's okay. I love to see you try new things. That's the best way to find the kind of style that suits you. Everyone else might be a little bit biased towards their own kinds of styles, but I'll always help you find what suits you the most. So don't force yourself to write the way everyone else wants you to write. It's not like you have to worry about impressing them or anything. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to be not very good. Well, that's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I feel like that, you know. I see. Well, let's read it then. Hole in the wall. It couldn't have been me. See the direction that the sparkle protrudes. A noisy neighbour, an angry boyfriend. I'll never know. I wasn't home. I peer inside for a clue. No, I can't see. I reel blind like a film left out in the sun. But it's too late. My retina's already scorched with a permanent copy of a meaningless image. It's just a hole. It wasn't too bright. It was too deep, stretching forever into everything. A hole of infinite choices. I realize now that I wasn't looking in. I was looking out. And he on the other side was looking in. So what do you think? It's very freeform, is that what you call it? Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback. Haha, it's okay. Well, that kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. There's a lot of poetry putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. That was the inspiration behind this one. Well, I'm not sure how to put it, but I guess you could say that I had kind of an epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems a bit. An epiphany? Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something down on the paper and tidy it up later. Another way to think about this is, if you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll get a dark puddle of ink. Just move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for the day. Thanks for listening. Alright, looks like we just have Natsuki left. So, yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to end down today's video here. If you did enjoy, please do like and subscribe. We are going to continue in the next episode with Natsuki, obviously, and then we're going to just go on from there and see what happens. But I'd like to thank you guys very much for watching. I am going to save, overwrite that, so that is right now. If I load, I should be able to... Yeah, it takes us to this point. So yeah, I'd like to thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.